Hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV. And boys, even though we've had all the shit of what has been Premier League football, we are now back with what is Champions League football. Football that we haven't saw literally since just before lockdown. If you don't know, for those who don't know, for those who aren't Liverpool fans, Liverpool's last game with fans was against Atletico Madrid, the second leg of the Champions League, where obviously we got beat. Morata scored the last minute goal in extra time. And not only that, we completely capitulated in what was the last half an hour of that game. We were pretty much cruise control from start to finish. I remember I'd just finished a shift in my work, so I actually couldn't attend the game, but I was devastated because obviously the coronavirus started kicking off. No one quite knew how serious it was going to be. No one knew if it was going to, cause lockdowns and stuff. But now we're back, and I feel like there's a lot to talk about in this video. Before we do get into the game itself against Ajax, I want to talk about, well, first off, Liverpool have something to prove in the Champions League this year. Liverpool absolutely have something to prove, and what I'm trying to say by that is, I do feel we should have beat Atletico Madrid, and I felt when watching that Champions League final, only one team deserved to be there, and that's not any disrespect to PSG, because they are amazing, they've got world-class players, and arguably you would have to put them in the top 3 best clubs in the world right now. But the reason why I felt like we were kind of robbed is because I do feel like we were better in that Atletico game, and I'm not trying to say Atletico didn't deserve it, because they absolutely did, but what I'm trying to offer to you is that when you look in hindsight, was that the 2 best teams in the final? If you ask me, and could this be me being biased? Absolutely, but I feel like we only saw one of the best teams in Europe facing probably the 3rd best team in Europe, whereas the 2nd best team in Europe at that very moment of that final, which was Liverpool, weren't involved, and that was because we did lack a lot of concentration towards the dead end of that Atletico Madrid game. And also, just before I speak about the game specifically, with Champions League football now returning for the Reds, because this is our competition, and I'm not trying to say we've won it more than anyone else, because I know that's not true, but what I'm trying to say is that this is what we're known for, this is what Liverpool fans get up for, and what an amazing chance it would have been to go to Amsterdam, play Ajax. What a beautiful stadium that would have been, what a spectacle that would have been. Obviously we know there's a certain thing that goes on in Amsterdam where, for Scousers, that probably would have been lovely, because if you put that together, and if you put, because there's a certain shop there, isn't there, so if you put that together and a bit of footy, for Scousers, that's amazing. So this would have been an amazing holiday for people to go on. Wouldn't have even been that expensive, obviously more than usual, but going to Amsterdam in Holland is not that bad, so it would have been lovely being there, but unfortunately we're all here watching it from Liverpool. Hopefully next year though. Anyway, in this video I'm going to be talking about the threats that we have to watch out for Ajax, our starting 11 prediction and my score prediction. I've done the preview and the score prediction separate last time for the Everton game, but because this game is tomorrow, I'm putting it both in one. So before I do get into who I think will start for Liverpool, I'm going to say who we need to watch out for when it comes to the Ajax team, because there is a few players that they've got that will cause us problems if we sleep on them. Now, Ajax is a very weird one. They're known for having brilliant talents coming through. Let me just name a few players for you. Van der Beek, De Ligt. There's 2 already off the bat that you will know and recognise because of how well and how successful they was at Ajax, especially De Ligt, who ended up joining Juventus, and he's been okay since, but when he was at Ajax, everyone was linked with him. Even I said, imagine him next to Van Dijk, he's already this good, and if you put him next to a centre-back who's the best in the world, imagine what that could elevate him to. But he joined Juventus, it's been meh. But the way Ajax have been able to recover from selling these big players, because that seems to be how they've always been, or all the way, go back years and years and years, and they sell their star players, but they replace them with experience, they replace them with different class that's going to help the team. Because yes, it's all good getting these young prospects, but you can't beat a bit of experience. We know that from players like James Milner, who might be slightly past it, but because of his IQ of football, he can still compete with at the highest level. That's what these players are like. Players specifically to watch out for, in my opinion. Obviously, you can't ignore players like Neres, who they've got on the wing, a phenomenal young Brazilian left winger who can cause problems for our defence, especially when you look at the condition of what our defence is in at the moment. That could absolutely be the case. But don't discredit Tadic, don't discredit Klasan, who used to play for Everton. Definitely don't discredit Onana, who's a phenomenal goalkeeper. One of the best in world football probably, but is overlooked because of the league that he's in. Quincy Promes. Does anyone realise how good Quincy Promes is? With Quincy Promes and Neres on the wings, that can cause Liverpool some serious damage. And also don't forget players like Daley Blind, someone who's been very consistent since joining Ajax and someone who's used to play for Manchester United, will want to do well against Liverpool. This is a big game for Ajax. This is always a big game for Ajax. Champions League football for them is where they really test themselves, because in the league, I mean, I know the second at the moment behind PSV. I think they've got 12 points out of the first 5 games. This is like a real chance for them to prove that they are above that level. They deserve to be in this Champions League. They deserve to be competing with teams like Liverpool. That's going to be their motivation. That's what the manager's going to be telling them. So I think it will be a tough game. I don't think Liverpool can be affording to make mistakes like we have been in usual games. I do feel like we're going to have to outscore Ajax to win, because I do think we are going to concede 1 or 2. And I will tell you why now as I go into my starting 11 prediction. So I've gone with a 4-3-3, the typical Liverpool formation. But I want to ask you people, and this is Reds and neutrals, just based on what you've seen from Liverpool so far, do you think that Liverpool not only need to change the team, but change the way it's set out, so the formation? This 4-3-3 high line thing doesn't seem to be working now. Usually it takes a minute to get new systems adjusted, and Liverpool fans could just be being impatient. But let me know in the comments down below, would you want to see maybe a 4-3-3 change for a 4-2-3-1? Just so that you have them 2 DMs to cover the defence and give that defence a bit more extra cover and solidarity that it's going to be okay. But this is what I've gone with my starting 11. Adrian in goal. Listen, mate, people can say what they want, but be all and end all is he's our best choice right now. Yes, he's shot of all confidence, but like I said in yesterday's video, which you haven't watched, go and check that out. Alisson's back soon. He's back in training. So I don't think he'll be back in this game, Alisson not being. So I do think Adrian will start. But hopefully, hopefully the manager just is able to manage him to the point where he's not that nervous. You could see he was nervous against Everton. We can't afford Adrian to be nervous in this game here, because if we lose to Ajax, mate, and then you've got Atlanta and Midtjylland and stuff, you don't want to be coming second in this group. There's not a PSG in this group like there was last year, and the same goes for any other big team. Like Napoli as well was in our group last year. So this is a group that we should be finishing top of. Therefore, dropping points in this game and conceding silly goals is not really an option. So hopefully, Adrian's got his head screwed on. Anyway, the back 4, and this is going to be very interesting, and I feel like yous will probably disagree with me on this. Robertson, left back. Fabinho, left centre-back. Right centre-back, Gomez. And right back, James Milner. Now, I know that you're probably raising an eyebrow at 1 or 2 of the names that I've just mentioned there. Robbo, I'm sure we can agree on. Fabinho, the reason why I'm starting him is because, again, we're too weak at the centre-back position. Joel Matip was caught having a scan at the hospital yesterday, which, don't get me wrong, I've heard isn't anything serious, but after just playing against Everton, and now we know how important it is to have as many centre-backs available as possible, I hope Jurgen's looking at this and thinking, mate, let's just start Fabinho to get it over and done with. You know he's going to do a solid job. You know he's going to be consistent, and you know that he can at least fill in. He might not reach the levels of what a Van Dijk or a Matip can, but you know he can at least fill in from that Chelsea game. So that's why I think he's going to come in. That's why I think he should come in, because nothing worse than Matip starting this game not fully fit and then getting another little niggle to his knee or his hamstring or whatever. I can't afford to be seeing any more centre-backs go out. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with me, and let me know in the comments down below, do you think Klopp will see it this way as well? I've gone with Gomez next to him because we're very weak in the centre-back position, so one of our starting centre-backs has got to start. And then right back, James Milner. This is, you might be thinking, Trent Alexander-Arnold though, James. The reason why I'd like to see James Milner, and the reason why I could possibly see James Milner starting, not to take over the right back position, we're very far past Milner playing left back and right back, but we still realise why we have got James Milner. I said in the summer, let's sell James Milner to Leeds. That's the perfect move for him. He's won the league. He's won the Champions League. He's not going to get much face time at Liverpool. What more has he got to prove? Now I realise why we've kept James Milner. For moments like this, to stepping into the team when he's actually very necessary. Think about it, people. Trent hasn't been at the top of his game this season. I think that's fair to say, and I don't think anyone will come at me and disagree with me on that. If Milner plays in that back 4, you better believe that that's going to help Joe Gomez in terms of the voice that James Milner will offer in that back 4. Fabinho as well, the class on the left side, and then Milner helping Gomez on that right hand side to make sure that experience and also to make sure that he's in the right positions and not stepping out of line like what he has been recently. So I think Milner could be that mature head on a young defence's shoulders that we very much need right now. So like I said, let me know if you agree with this in the comments down below, and leave your starting 11 predictions or score predictions as well. In the midfield, I've gone with Gini Wijnaldum in the 6. Obviously, there's news coming out, Thiago He did get a little knee injury in the Everton game with the Richarlison clash. He will be missing this game. It's reports are saying he's probably going to be back for the Sheffield game on Saturday, so I'm not too sad to see that. Hence why I'm saying let's move Wijnaldum into this 6, and also because I've moved Fabinho centre-back. And then in front of him, Henderson and Naby Keita. So my midfield 3 consists of Gini, Hendo and Keita. That's the way I think we're going to set out. Is it the way I would set out? I think it has to be. No Thiago, like I said, no Fabinho with the way I've set out this team in the midfield. So I think that's the perfect way. And the reason why I've put Wijnaldum in the 6 over Hendo is because simply he's more box to box. I feel like that's more his position, and I feel like we lack a lot of offence when Henderson isn't in that number 8 role and going forward and offering to the attack like he can and like he's shown he can. So I'm happy with that midfield 3, and I think it can do the job. I'm always confident when Henderson's there, mate, because there's just something about him being in the team that changes the dynamics of everything. And then the front 3, have a guess, whoop-de-da, Mane, Firmino and Salah. But let me ask you in the comments down below, is this a great chance? Because now that I'm thinking about it, and I can't believe I never thought about this when writing down this starting 11 prediction, what about Diogo Jota? Does he come in now? Diogo Jota, does he get his first start? Or does Minamino come in and get a start? If you ask me, I'd love to see Jota above anyone. He's been the one who's actually been showing a bit of form outside the current front 3 we've got. And to replace him with a Bobby Firmino, who hasn't been in form, this could be good competition for the squad, and it'd be a good chance for Jota to come in and try and make a little name for himself. I'm not saying he will. Maybe he's going to get substituted on, but would this be a good game? And let me know in the comments down below. Would you want to see Diogo Jota start? If you ask me, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I really, really wouldn't. Now, if you ask me going off that starting 11 prediction that I've gone with, talking about the Ajax, the way I've talked about them, the experience that they've got, mixed in with still the young quality that they've got within that squad, what score do I foresee it being? Like I said earlier, I do see goals. I see both teams scoring. I can see this being a high-scoring game, people. And I know us Liverpool fans haven't got it in our hearts anymore to handle these 4-3s and big scoreline games. Got a hair in me fucking mouth. But I see this being 4-2, mate. I don't know who's going to score first. I don't know the order that's going to go in. But I can see Ajax grabbing a couple. At the end of the day, mate, when you have a shaky defence and a shaky system like what Liverpool have got at the moment, you cannot be naive to any opposition team scoring against you at the minute. And like I said, Tadic, Neres and all that, they can cause us problems. However, Liverpool have done one thing very well this season on multiple occasions, is outscoring the opposition. That's something that Liverpool will need to do in this game. Hence why I haven't changed the front 3 too much and stuff like that. Hence why I've still gone with a fairly offensive midfield, yet still giving the defence the cover that I feel it needs. So 4-2 for me. Let me know in the comments down below what score predictions you're going to go with. I wish I could have came to this video a bit more prepared, but obviously with the game being tomorrow, I had to get this out as quick as possible for you. Hopefully you did enjoy this video though. Hopefully this just gave you more of an insight of what is to expect for Ajax versus Liverpool. Obviously it's at their stadium, like I said, in Amsterdam. Would have been great to be there, but it is what it is. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, be sure you leave a like and subscribe. Make sure, like I said, you leave all your scores and lineup predictions in the comments down below, and make sure that you keep an eye out for tonight's episode of the Redmond Roundup. And for those who don't know, 10 o'clock with Redmond has now got a new name in the Redmond Roundup, so make sure you're there tonight. Leave a comment down below for the chance to be mentioned at the start of that video. But anyway, me and my cup of tea, we are out. I'll see you in a bit.